Hello. I think we can get started. Okay. Hello and welcome everyone. Today is February the 3rd and this is Metal3 community meeting. Just a reminder that this meeting will be recorded and posted later on the Metal3 YouTube channel. If you have any items that you want to discuss today, then please go ahead and add it to the agenda. Also, please add your name in the attendees list. I will also share the link to the document here if you want to add any items in the agenda for today. So to start with, as usual, like if there is someone new on the call or didn't have a chance to introduce themselves previously, then please go ahead and give us a brief intro about yourself. And meanwhile, I will try to mute my microphone. Okay, I think we don't have anyone new on the call today, then we can get started, I think. So the first item from Himanshu, presentation framework. Himanshu, please.
Hey, so just wanted to decide on a repository we want to use for this. So I had two repos in mind. One is the website repo and one is the docs repo. So I was thinking maybe the website repo might be a good place for this, but any other ideas are welcome.
Anyone has any suggestions where we should start the presentations related to Metal3? So we have two repositories under Metal3 GitHub org. One is Metal3 Docs, where mostly we store design documents and some other stuff. But apart from that, we have Metal3.io GitHub repository where we have basically the source of the Metal3.io website. So anyone has any suggestions where would be the best place to store the presentation?
Yeah, I'm a bit doubtful about the website one because there is quite some automation there that with some like two branches, you know, like the master being the one where the content of the website is actually generated and you're supposed to push your PRs to like the source branch. So that, I mean, we could also just agree that we always put it in master, but it's, I mean, probably would be better in Metal3 Docs where we don't have such a mechanism to keep the Metal3 website repository clear and with only the website generation automation there.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so I will submit my proposal to the Metal3 Docs then. And since it's just proposal, like we can, if for any reason we decide for another repository later, we can do that. So, so I will try to send out the PR today for the discussion. So I have created a one of my previous Metal3 overview presentation. I have exported that using the new framework that I use. So we can have further discussion on the PR then. Thanks.
Is it possible to create a presentations folder under the Metal3 docs for that? Just to make it clear where eventually any other kind of presentation in future could be landed.
Yeah, that's thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, so if we can have a directory dedicated for presentations at some path in the Metal3 docs repo, that would also help. So please let me know like what would be a good place there.
I think we can just create a folder under the docs, like Metal3 docs. So right now, under the docs, we are storing the empty book. We're planning to store empty book content. There is no content yet for the user guide that we started. But like if you go to, okay, let me just quickly open that. So under the docs, this is the content that we're planning to use. At least the user guide folder is for the MCBook based user guide. So probably it would be best to create like another folder here, like presentations, and then store everything in under that.
Got it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you, Himanshu. Any questions or comments? No? Okay, then let's move on. Dmitry, introduction and invitation to review the automatic secure boot. Dmitry?
Hi, thank you. Yeah, that's work I've started recently here. It's based on the ironic feature of turning secure boot on and off for the final instance, not during the whole process. In the design, I'm introducing it as a new boot mode value. So we have UEFI and legacy. Currently, since it's not exactly orthogonal with boot modes, I'm just creating a new value, secure UEFI, which implies UEFI and also adds secure boot on top of that. There is a full complete code to implement that. It's not really long because I'm reusing a lot of code because of this boot mode decision. So you're welcome to review, ask me any questions.
Thank you very much, Dmitry. Any questions or comments to the proposal or the PR from Dmitry?
Yeah, maybe Dmitry, would you mind giving a very short introduction, let's say on the feature on the Ironic side? Like what does Ironic do when you put this secure boot to true?
Okay, so
If that's not too much asking, sorry.
No worries. Absolutely fine. So when you put boot mode to secure UEFI, it implies that you're using UEFI for everything, similar to the existing boot mode UEFI. Second, when deployment is nearly over, so after the Ironic Python agent finishes everything and the node is powered off, Ironic will contact the BMC. Redfish, ILO, IRMC are supported to turn UEFI secure boot mode on for this instance before powering it on. And the opposite process is done on tearing down. So secure boot mode is set to off before we tear down the instance. What secure boot does, for those who don't know, the machine after that will refuse to boot any kernel level code that is not signed with a known signature. The known signatures are stored in UEFI variables, and currently we provide no way to modify them. Usually hardware comes with Microsoft signature and with vendor-specific signature, and most Linux distributions are signed in a way that is compatible with this Microsoft signature. So it have high chances of working out of box with many existing distributions. I tested with CoreOS, it works pretty well. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? No? Then thank you, Dmitry.
Sorry, maybe just side question then that comes from the like a side feature of this. So if we are talking not about secure boot but measured boot in the case, like is it something that would be like supported on the Ironic side or not at all? Like the setup, like the different parameters to get the machine booting with in a measured boot scenario or not?
Yeah, there is a proposal upstream in Ironic to support a trusted boot free software implementation called Keylime. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
So there's I will link this proposal somewhere. Give me just 1 minute to find it. Yes. Come on, Google Docs. You're terrible. Okay, so I've linked a specification that we are currently reviewing for this work. Please feel free to read and comment on that.
Mhm.
There are some hopes to finish it in the current release cycle for Ironic, but of course, additional input is always welcome, especially if it fits your case or not.
Dimitri, it is covering both, right? Means direct interface boot and virtual media. It applies to both the secure boot for EP.
So sorry, I couldn't quite. That's a question about secure boot, not about measure boot, right? Could you repeat it?
So in case of virtual media, we are making sure that secure boot for UP happens for power on, power off also, and this applies to virtual media boot also. That's my question, or not?
This work does not apply to service RAM disks. It does apply to live ISO work that has been proposed by Red Hat folks.
Oh, okay.
If you use only virtual media, you can just turn secure boot on yourself before even going into Metal Cubed. The problem is doing that is it's secure boot in its current form is not compatible with network boot. So that's why we are only doing it before the instance is booted. This way we can use both a network boot and virtual media boot absolutely equally, and we don't have to make the RAM disk compatible with secure boot, although the RAM disk we built is in fact compatible with secure boot.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? If no, let's move on. Thank you, Dmitry, and please, everyone, whoever is on the call, take some time and please review the proposal whenever you have time. Okay, Dmitry, the next one is also from you.
Okay, that's a short one. I have a spec on, I think, substates. It has been around for a good while. There's no much progress. It would be useful to either please review it or have a later consensus on that. The goal here is to divide the existing steps into more granular substeps, mostly for debugging. So also for UI purposes, if you're building an UI on top of Metal Cube, so that you can display what exactly is going on more precisely than just deploying.
Okay, thank you. I think it's been a while that it's open and there were no any other reviews, and it seems that you have addressed like all of them, at least that's what I see. So maybe we can agree on having lazy consensus of a week. At least that's what we were doing in a couple of proposals. Would that be okay with you, Dmitry, to have the lazy consensus of a week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
So Dimitri, here we are talking, let's say we are taking one step, let's say create RAID. In the create RAID, what are the sub-steps are happening that you are proposing here, right? Yes, that is one of the examples.
It's mostly like, I'm not touching RAID, but RAID will also benefit from this work. The primary case is to separate a generic deploying step, I think we call it deploying, I may be wrong, or provisioning, into more granular, like booting the RAM disk, writing the image, configuring boot, to give a better idea what is happening right now.
Okay, I'll take the.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this proposal? If no, if there is someone still wants to do the review, please do it during this week or the next week. And if there are no any other comments or questions or objections on this proposal, let's agree that we can just merge it next week, Wednesday. Okay, so let's move on. The next item is from Arwinder, lazy consensus request on the proposal 149. Arwinder?
Hello, everyone. Just a gentle reminder, if you could please take a look at this, both the design doc, which you're showing right now, and also the feature PR. Appreciate it. I think this has been approved for a while ago. You just need to, I think, just put a stamp on it and merge it at this point.
Thank you, Arwinder. Yes, I remember that we also agreed last time that we'll have a lazy consensus for week, and it has already been passed. So let's see what Doug replies. I don't see him on the call, and I see he was involved in the review. Hopefully, we'll be able to merge it this week.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this proposal, or any objections? No. Okay, let's move on. Okay, that's the actually end of our agenda for today. But if there is someone still wants to add, please go ahead, because we have plenty of time left for today.
Maybe I didn't add in the agenda, but maybe it could be worth discussing what is the current status of the CI in terms of removing the Docker limit. I saw several PRs on that side. Maybe an update, a global update would be useful on what are the current points, if we have any blocker or whatever.
Yeah, sure. It's actually good that you brought this up. So just some context. Like once after Docker announced this pull rate limit, so and we have the Jenkins CI set up in Nordics that runs on every pull request in most of the repositories under the Metal3. And we don't have basically pro account in Docker, so we're using unauthorized request to the Docker hub. And we started seeing this issue because we have so many repositories, so many jobs getting triggered, which is causing to have more than 100 pull requests, more than 100 pull requests, for the images from the Docker hub. And if it's more than 100 within 6 hours, then you have the issue and we're not able to pull that image. So there were a couple of things happening, like ideas. That the first one was that we could have registry cache because we already have the registry cache in Nordics, but we were not able to use that for some issues related to Docker configuration or registry configuration. Then we recently came up with the idea that we for the Jenkins. So we have 2 Jenkins jobs, right? One Ubuntu, another one is CentOS. We have another Jenkins job that is building images for the CI only. So it basically takes the blank Ubuntu or the CentOS and puts some stuff on top, like Cloud Init, for example, and then installing some packages in advance. So what we did today, I opened just before the call pull request in Metal3 dev, which is basically trying to pull the images in 0.1 script. So all the container images that we have, this includes Calico, CentOS, Golang, and all this stuff. So we are pulling this right now. We're gonna pull this in 0.1 script. Why in 0.1? Because that image building job is running 0.1 script, because this is the script where we're installing all this necessary thing. So that means we will just build one image during one day, and that will include all the container images. Then when we trigger the CI job, it will get either Ubuntu or CentOS that already includes those container images. So there is no need to pull those images from the Docker Hub. It will only pull the images that are hosted in GCR, like Google Container Registry, or the QA. But the rest, whatever we have in Docker Hub, like CentOS, as I said, Docker, the registry and the Calico images, those will be already pre-baked into the image. So you might have question like, isn't it going to make the image a bit heavy and then slow the process of running the job? I think no, because the image where this hosted in the OpenStack is the same environment where the VM is created for the integration test. So it's the same environment, so hopefully there will be no issues. So there is still some issues that I need to do with Minikube, because for Ubuntu-based integration test, we're using the kind, and for kind, I'm using basically, where was the command? Yeah, for kind, I'm using this load Docker image, which is basically taking the container images that we have on the host and injecting it into the kind cluster. So I have to find similar thing to do for the Minikube. I think it should be pretty straightforward, but I didn't have yet time to do. So hopefully this will fix the problem for now. The only downside is that if there is a new image added in the future for the whole event, like new container images, then we also have to make sure that we're also adding that image in this list so that we also pull that image and then it's also available in that Jenkins operating system or the image itself. So yeah, that was the update.
Thank you very much, Farid.
Thank you. Any questions on this?
Are we going to document somehow this new approach just for future reference?
Sure, but I'm not sure where should I put the document, because it's kind of workaround for now. But what do you think? What would be the best place to keep the document? I can definitely write it down, but I'm not sure where to store it. Maybe the community meetings notes, or
I don't know if under the project infra repo there could be the right place.
True. Yeah, that makes sense actually. I can just create a small document in there. Thank you for that. Yeah. Anyone else still wants to add or discuss before we close the meeting? Actually, I can add one more thing. So we agreed to have updates round. I think, if I understood it right, once every 2 weeks, but we also did it last time because we had plenty of time. But if there is someone on the call who wants to give an update on the things that they are working related to Metal3, please feel free. I will mute myself for a couple of minutes if you want to speak. If not, then we can close the meeting.
I can give a short update on what's happening with the network configuration design proposal. So we are having work sessions every week on Friday mornings, mornings Europe time, and we have been considering the design itself of the solution, like which new CRs would be introduced to allow controlling the switches before the deployment. And then we recently have been focusing a bit more on the permissions side, let's say, what would be the different deployment models and how can we make sure that the users are not doing more than they should be allowed to do when we have this kind of multi-tenancy models. So this is ongoing, and I'm hopeful to have the like a PR on the Metal3 docs with the proposal, like within, well, by the end of this month latest, I would say.
Thank you, Mile. And I think you have this meetings using the same link that we're using for the community meeting, right? And it's happening every Monday
Yes.
or Friday?
Every Friday.
Every Friday. And what was the time? Can you just remind me?
It's at 8 Central European time. So yeah, I don't know in what are they, like far too early for US and in the afternoon for or evening for China and Japan.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I think there was a link, like, so if someone wants to join next time, please feel free and use the same, you can use the same link to join the call.
Yeah, and actually everything is recorded. So if you're interested and want to have the links to the recording, I can send it.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. Anyone else wants to share what they're working on?
Yeah, maybe just a quick note. I think there was a very good progress on the PR related for the cleaning preparation requested for RAID support. I think the PR is almost ready. It was, I think, really good work. I found a small issue. I opened the PR 785 that could fix a small problem. So someone would like to give it a look, could be useful. But I think that the important part regarding the preparation for the manual cleaning is it's okay. That was really good improvement for what regards to the RAID support done by Hellcat and the others.
Thank you very much. Would you mind to share the link for the PRs?
Yeah,
here?
yeah, I'll add. Yes, sure.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to share? No? Okay. Then I think we can close the meeting here. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.